Welcome in to Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. On today's show, we are going to get you set for free agency with everything you need to know for your Seattle Seahawks as the NFL free agency period begins today. Thanks for spending part of your Monday morning with us. Before we get to any of that, though, folks, you got to subscribe to the channel because here's the deal. It is going to get wild the next few days. I can tell you this much right now. If the Seahawks make a major move of some sorts, we're going to stop whatever we're doing and we're going to go live and we're going to react to it in real time. We're going to be putting out videos throughout the week in reaction to these signings, the moves that the Seahawks make. If you love the Seattle Seahawks, this is the channel for you. Subscribe for free today, and a very important key, turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of the latest happenings with the Seattle Seahawks. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV to subscribe for free today. Can we get about 50 subs on today's video? I think we can. Help us out. Subscribe now. We'll get started with today's show. So let's set the scene for you here for your Seattle Seahawks with free agency. Look, with all the draft picks the Seahawks have, free agency is not a major priority for this Seahawks team, especially a young team that is preparing for its future. But even with that said, the Seahawks still have an obligation to go out there and see how they can better their roster potentially and see if they could make a couple of moves potentially. But nonetheless, the draft is still where you're going to make your major moves when it comes to retooling this roster. With that said, the Seahawks already got started with re-signing a few key players, including Geno Smith. We talked about that last week. Jason Myers got his new deal a while back, as did Phil Haynes and Nick Bellore. So we already know that those four guys are back. Now, the cap situation for Seattle, think about this. They have about $20.196 million in cap space to begin this free agency period. But that number is a little deceiving because, remember, that money, a lot of it has to go to the draft picks, right? And so then you look at the effective cap space when you account for future draft picks and the first 51 players signed on a roster. That leaves the Seahawks with about $10 million to spend. So effectively, this free agency period, as of right now, and granted there could be other moves, guys getting cut and whatnot, but at this point in time, the Seahawks, when it comes to free agency, have about $10 million that they can use. So with that said, give me a prediction. How is this going to go for the Seattle Seahawks? Whether it's a player getting cut or re-signed or somebody they grab in free agency, what do you think is going to happen here? This is our pinned comment today. I want to set the scene and see what you guys have here. Tell me a prediction for the Seahawks of a move that they're going to make over the next couple days. Just give me one prediction of what do you think is going to happen for Seattle as they begin NFL free agency here. So let's start with Ryan Neal. Can the Seahawks afford to re-sign Ryan Neal here in free agency? You look at this situation for Seattle. Jamal Adams should be coming back, and Quandre Diggs, of course, is there as well. But what about Ryan Neal? Is there a spot for him, and can they afford to keep him? Well, John Schneider, just within the last couple of days, talked about Ryan Neal, stating the following: "We'd love to have Ryan back. He's a good player, flies around. He just throws his body around too, and he's got a lot of juice. In the locker room, he's a great locker room guy, really developed into a strong leader." Now, let me put it to you this way, okay? Think about this, folks, of this situation with Ryan Neal. I am of the belief I would like to see him stay, but the market value, here's the number on this, folks. His market value is about $2.42 million, to be exact, is the market value when it comes to Ryan Neal, right? And so with that said, what you wonder is, with his market value being at that, is he going to be over that value? Is the potential offers out there going to be more than he's worth? Well, let's look at what Corbin Smith had to say about this situation. In recent history, has been any indication allowing Neal to walk and not choosing to tender him before Wednesday's deadline would be a gamble the Seahawks simply cannot afford to take. So Put it simply this way, folks. His market value may be 2.42 right now, but somebody else out there could offer more than that, and then you might be finding yourselves in a situation where if you want to bring Ryan Neal back, you might have to overspend to bring him back. But the truth of the matter is, I know this kind of gets lost in the dust a bit, but Ryan Neal had the highest grade of any safety in the National Football League this past year, according to Pro Football Focus. Okay? So if the Seahawks are in a situation where, okay, we might have to overspend, but based on the numbers, the track record that says that you're actually getting more than what that contract's worth, I'm okay with that personally. And we've talked about the possibility of whether it's moving Jamal Adams to linebacker or moving on from him. I don't think you can count on Jamal Adams for your future. You shouldn't, for that matter. To me, I would like to find a way to see Ryan Neal come back and at least give him another chance to see if he can replicate this really good year he had this past season. What say you? Should the Seahawks re-sign Ryan Neal? Let me know in the comments section. Type Y for yes, type in for no. If you think the Seahawks should hang on to their young safety, let us know in the comments section. Y for yes, in for no. Feel free to elaborate on that if you think the Seahawks should hang on to him or not. St. Patrick's Day is just around the corner. A lot of you already celebrating over the weekend, but the real holiday, of course, is still a few days away, and you're luck because we have some great Seahawks gear for you, whether it's the T-shirts, the hoodies, the socks, whatever it may be. It's all in one place. It's actually on sale, believe it or not. 25% off on this St. Patty's Day gear at chatsports.com/SeahawksGreen. If you want to feel very festive and want to get some Seahawks gear while celebrating the holiday as well, we got it for you. chatsports.com/SeahawksGreen to get yours today. You'll be glad you did. That's chatsports.com/SeahawksGreen. So one of the big questions for the Seahawks as they enter free agency is Bobby Wagner. Could they be making a move for their former linebacker who is coming off a very good year with the Los Angeles Rams? Well, John Schneider openly talked about the conversations that he and Pete Carroll have had with Bobby Wagner and called them awesome conversations, saying, we've been able to talk to Bobby now and address some of those things, so it's worked out great. We're going to be in communication as we go along throughout free agency now. And because Bobby Wagner was being released, then he was eligible to talk early as opposed to other free agents out there, right? Well, here's the deal, okay? I know a lot of you, and I read the comments, folks. I know a lot of you are saying, well, you can't afford Bobby Wagner. What are you talking about? How are the Seahawks going to be able to bring a guy like him in? And I understand all of that. But here's the deal. You got the $10 million to spend right now. And we know Bobby's history with Seattle and the fact that conversations are going on, that they've already gotten past that point of the awkwardness of last offseason when the Seahawks let him go and Bobby Wagner took that personal and such. The fact that conversations are there, to me, that's a good sign. Now, whether they can work out the dollar figure or not, I don't know. That remains to be seen. But here's the deal. The Seahawks have a major need at the linebacker position. Bobby Wagner is still one of the best in the National Football League. The resume, it speaks for itself. I don't have to remind you of him being a 6-time first-team All-Pro and a 3-time second-team All-Pro and an 8-time Pro Bowler, a Super Bowl champion, a 2-time NFL tackles leader, a 2010s All-Decade team member. I don't have to remind you any of that, the fact that he's going to be a future first-ballot Hall of Famer, okay? The thing that I need to remind you is he's still playing at an extremely high level, even at this age, and the Seahawks have a need. So I don't know if they can make the money work, if they can figure that out or not. Bobby's price might be too high than what the Seahawks can afford at this point. But hey, the conversations are happening. They're productive. So to me, that's all positive at this point. We'll wait and see if they can figure out, but certainly would be quite the story if they do. Chime in. Where will Bobby Wagner sign? He says he wants to play for a contending team. He didn't get that opportunity with the Los Angeles Rams after a disappointing year off their Super Bowl. Could it be in Seattle? Could it be with the defending Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, or somebody else for that matter. Let me know in the comment section, where will Bobby Wagner end up signing in NFL free agency? Folks, we are going to be all over free agency and social media as well. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. You can find me there, and I will see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.